There's a rest stop on Highway 44 that doesn't exist on any map. Cars enter its parking lot, but none are ever seen leaving it. Its lights glow, even when the entire region is without power. And every night at 2:30 a.m., something inside turns all the vending machines toward the door. If you're brave enough to step inside this place with me, hit subscribe now. And tell me in the comments how long you think UD lasts in a rest stop that refuses to let you go. The rain began falling in slow, heavy drops that drummed against the metal roof of the forgotten rest stop. A flickering sign glowed above the entrance, its letters rearranging themselves in the reflection of puddles below. The parking lot stretched out like a wet, empty stage waiting for an audience that would never arrive. Somewhere beyond the tree line, a low hum vibrated the ground as if the forest itself breathed. Inside, the lobby greeted the storm with a stale, unmoving warmth that didn't match the temperature outside. Dust settled in perfect circles around the bolt-tied-down furniture, as though something had recently stood there. The vending machines lined the wall like silent guards, their lights pulsing in uneven intervals. A map taped to the information board showed only blank white space where the rest stop should have been. Farther down the hallway, a restroom door creaked open without a breeze to push it. Its hinges groaned slowly, the sound echoing against tile that hadn't been cleaned in years. In Tamira's reflection, the fluorescent lights above flickered yet their actual bulbs remained still. A stall door tapped steadily, as if waiting for someone to answer its rhythm. The maintenance closet near the end of the hall exhaled warm, stale air through its metal vents. Its shelves were lined with tools that hadn't rusted despite decades of untouched storage. A mop bucket slowly rotated on its wheels, turning an inch at a time as if following something unseen. A single, muddy footprint pointed directly toward the emergency exit, painted bright red. When the storm outside intensified, every light inside the rest stop brightened in perfect. The exit sign at the far doorway glowed brighter than the others, pulsing like a heartbeat. Yet each time the emergency bar was pushed, the door thudded against an invisible force. Behind it, only darkness pressed back, silent and strangely warm. The rest stop began to shift subtly, almost imperceptibly, as if the building adjusted its posture. Tiles along the floor vibrated lightly, aligning themselves in a new direction with soft clicks. Posters peeled away from the walls and curled toward the lobby, bending as though drawn by gravity. The security camera mounted above the entrance swiveled, even though its cable was severed. An old radio behind the counter crackled back to life, broadcasting static laced with faint whispers. Its tuning knob slowly turned on its own, scraping through frequencies like fingers on bone. For a moment, every machine, light, and object inside. Then a single phrase emerged from the static. "You've already arrived?" Outside, the road that led to the rest stop began dissolving under the rainfall. The white lane markings stretched like soft wax, pulled back by unseen hands. Guardrails twisted gently, bending inward as if forming the ribs of a cage. The exit ramp folded into itself until only a muddy slope remained. The vending machines near the lobby made a loud mechanical chirping noise. One by one, their fronts rotated slowly, impossibly until they all faced the entrance. Candy bars and sodas rattled violently as if something behind the glass was trying to break free. Their lights synchronized again, blinking in a pattern that resembled Morse code. At exactly 2:13 a.m., the building released a long, low groan like metal awakening from sleep. The floor concaved by a fraction, bowing inward as though pulled by a great, unseen weight. Dust swirled upward in spirals, drawn to a point near the center of the lobby, and from that point, a faint outline formed shaped like a doorway, yet leading nowhere. The map on the wall began to redraw itself, its blank space filling with thin black lines. Each line pulsed like veins, spreading outward until they formed a sprawling labyrinth. In the middle of the map, a single blinking dot appeared, trembling in place. Below it, new text carved itself into the paper. Current location. The vending machines stopped rattling. The lights stopped flickering. The building grew completely silent, and in that stillness, the outline of the door at the lobby's center began to open. From the inside, the air inside the rest stop thickened as the doorway-shaped outline expanded. The vending machines dimmed their lights, bowing slightly like servants awaiting a command. Above the counter, the security monitor flickered to life, cycling through corrupted camera feeds. Each feed showed angles of the rest stop that didn't physically exist anywhere inside. The map on the wall pulsed again, its ink shifting into a pattern resembling a heartbeat. Veins of black scribble stretched outward, carving new corridors that bent in impossible geometry. The blinking dot in the center twitched violently, as if dragged by an unseen force. Beneath it, new words etched into the paper with fresh ink. Observe carefully. From the radio, a voice began speaking in tones that resembled a malfunctioning GPS. Its cadence was robotic, yet strained, as though something organic tried to mimic technology. It listed coordinates that spiraled outward in mathematical impossibilities. Then it whispered a final line. "There is no outside. Look closer." The building trembled gently, like a sleeper stirring from a nightmare it couldn't escape. Floor tiles rotated in synchronized patterns, forming a spiral that pointed toward the lobby's center. Walls expanded and contracted like lungs trying to inhale something trapped within them. The fluorescent lights above buzzed low, harmonizing with the building's rhythmic breathing. Near the vending machines, the rotating glass panels stopped abruptly. Their reflections no longer matched the lobby. They showed a different rest stop entirely. This alternate version flickered with cracked walls and ash covering the floor. A sign hung crooked in the reflection. "Abandoned since 1984. The emergency exit hissed softly, its metal frame bending inward like soft clay. The red exit letters melted, dripping onto the floor in glowing crimson beads. The door's window warped, stretching into an oval that resembled a blinking eye. Its reflection in the tile looked back with delayed, unnatural movement. Suddenly, the lobby's central outline snapped wider, forming a perfect black rectangle. It swallowed the light around it, creating an absence rather than a shadow. Every object in the building leaned slightly toward it, pulled by invisible gravity. Even the dust in the air drifted forward in steady, obedient lines. The radio crackled again, this time emitting a rapid sequence of static pulses. They translated visually on the map as the blinking dot split into 3 identical points. Each point traveled down a separate hallway that didn't exist moments earlier. Every dotted path ended abruptly at the center of the building. The rest stop's ceiling tiles began to peel downward, revealing a darkness that pulsed like liquid. Inside that void, faint outlines moved too symmetrical to be human, too uneven to be mechanical. Their shapes twisted in geometric patterns, expanding and collapsing in glitching rhythms. Every light in the rest stop dimmed at their movements, as if bowing in fear. The vending machines clicked twice in unison. Their screens flashed the same message. "The exit requires an offering." Immediately, the central doorway shuddered, widening further with a low growl. The floor's spiral pattern rotated slowly, guiding everything toward the growing void. Posters ripped off the walls and slid across the tiles, as if magnetized. The countertop cracked, splintering toward the center like fractures in glass. Even the air currents bent, funneling straight into the widening darkness. The walls of the rest stop buckled, revealing glimpses of the alternate abandoned version within them. In those flickers, charred wallpaper and collapsed ceilings appeared. The lights in that version were dead, yet shadows moved across its halls with purposeful steps. A sign inside that dimension glowed faintly. Last entry recorded, 2:13 a.m. The radio's voice returned, deeper and more distorted than before. It repeated one cryptic phrase over and over, each time lowering in pitch. "This place remembers." And then the voice fell silent forever. Suddenly, every vending machine shut off at once, plunging the lobby into almost total darkness. Only the central doorway remained illuminated by an unnatural, sourceless glow. Its edges rippled, its angles flexing in ways that defied structure and physics. Then a faint whisper drifted out. "Choose." The map violently tore itself from the wall and hovered mid. Its ink bled outward, forming a swirling black mass that spun like a storm. This storm shot tendrils of ink across the ceiling, painting a new symbol above the lobby. The symbol pointed directly into the central void. then froze. The exit ramp outside shifted again, reshaping itself into a loop with no beginning. The road twisted inward like a Mobius strip, folding into darkness. Forest trees bent toward the building as though pulled by its gravitational hunger. Even the storm clouds above spiraled into a perfect vortex over the rest stop. As the climax peaked, the building exhaled one final, massive breath. The vending machine lights reignited violently, casting strobe flashes across the lobby. The central doorway fully solidified into a shimmering, impossible mirror. Inside that mirror was the same rest stop, except empty, deserted, and dead. The mirror cracked. The lights flickered. The building shook. And then everything went silent. Only the sign above the entrance remained glowing. Letters rearranging once more. They shifted into a final message, burned permanently into the metal. Arrival confirmed below it. The symbols flickered with a final pulse, then froze forever. Outside, the storm vanished, as if erased, leaving only stillness across the highway. The road straightened again. The forest relaxed, and the world returned to normal. But the rest stop's front door remained slightly open, waiting, humming faintly, and the empty parking lot held the echo of footsteps that weren't there. In the far distance, a faint glow appeared along the asphalt. It pulsed slowly, like headlights approaching from miles away. Yet no engine sound accompanied it. No tires on pavement, no movement. Just a cold, steady light drifting closer to the rest stop's open door. The glow brightened. The doorway hummed. The vending machines shifted. And the rest stop whispered softly, "Next, if you found a rest stop that didn't exist on any map, would you keep driving? Or would you stop to see what's inside?"